through the surgery, all of a sudden she came out of her body. And she was floating at the top of the room, and she actually saw they were operating on her body, and she realized, oh my God, that's me. And she was basically hovering in the top corner of the room, just watching the surgeon. And then she thought, well, I better go and tell my family and stuff. I think something negative has happened to me because they're trying to resuscitate me. So maybe I've died. So she goes out into the corridor, just floats out into the corridor, and she sees a doctor, not in like a surgical outfit, just a normal doctor's outfit, come running in with a box into the actual surgical room with a blood transfusion. And he's trying to get in, and they're not letting him in because he's not scrubbed up for surgery. And he's insisting, look, I need to get in here. So she's observing that, thinking, oh, something must be going wrong. And all of a sudden she thinks, well, let me try and find my family. And she feels like she's moving, but then all of a sudden she feels like she's being pulled up through the building. So she gets pulled out of the building, and she goes, I wasn't in control at that point of where I was moving. And as her basically spirit, she was passing over the whole of the actual area that she lived in. And when she came to an ocean there, she saw a cave with a light in it, and she went into that cave. And it said actually in the scriptures that when you pass away, you will go towards the light. You must have heard this, so people would say, it's a common thing in movies where they're like, don't go towards the light. It's like a joke, and it's like a tunnel, and you kind of go through. And she was going into this cave, and when she came out of the other end, she actually found herself in like a desert area. And she was thinking, where am I? Is this heaven? Is this hell? And she goes, well, it can't be the afterlife because she's a Christian. She goes, Jesus would be there. But instead, there was a guide there that said to her, come along and walk with me. And they were walking through this desert, and then it was very, very harsh, but she said the guide was able to take her in such a way where it wasn't a struggle for her. And all of a sudden then she came to a place that was really lush and loads of greenery and everything like that. And it's actually said that in the scriptures that when someone dies, the first place that they go through, they have to walk through these 7 cities. And it's very harsh terrain, like a desert. Then you come to somewhere which is very, very nice, which is Pitrilok, where all of the ancestors are. And then you go and Yamaraj actually reads all of the activities in your life. Now this is in our scriptures. Bear in mind this lady is Christian. So she finds herself in this desert area, and there's a guide there which is taking her, and he's dressed in really an old tunic, not like modern clothes at all. And she's just following him, and when she comes to that really nice area, she sees all of her relatives that are deceased. Now this happens a lot in NDEs. It happened to a friend of mine. He actually had an NDE. One of my friends, he's a lawyer, he went for a surgery, and he had a near-death experience in the surgery. He came out of his body, and he saw his grandmother that had left her body just recently. And he was very attached to his grandmother, and his grandmother, he was like, I want to go with you. And she was like, no, it's not your time yet. You've still got a few things left to do. So in this near-death experience, that lady saw her mother and father were there, her uncles and aunties that had passed away are there. And it was a very nice area they were living in, and everything was just very, very nice. And